All right, YouTube subscribers, my name is Rayshawn, known as Ray News on Facebook, also known as Mr. Ceiling Fan Man 1999 on YouTube. Now, what's going on is that I'm showing you guys my 42-inch white and polished sprayers, SMC Royal Flush, model U42, Hugger ceiling fan. Now, I got the ceiling fan finally installed in this garage after I done basically just fixed it up. So now when I made 2 remake videos of the ceiling fan shown with the rebuilt motor. Now the reason why is that because what happened back in October of this year or maybe November this year was that that I was actually replacing the bearings on this ceiling fan because the bearings were so loud and stuff from when I sprayed some WD-40 on the bearings because the bearings was locked up and stuff, which was causing the motor on the fan to be seized. So I ended up spraying the WD-40 onto the bearings so it can loosen up the bearings. So it did loosen up the bearings, but it made the bearings real loud and all that stuff to the point that it kind of sounded loud. It kind of sounded like the wheels on a train rolling on the railroad tracks and stuff, or I don't even know how to describe what that sound sounded like and stuff. But and then the next thing is that and then so when I decided to take the motor apart and tap the bearings off the motor and stuff using the screwdriver. So I used the screwdriver and put the screwdriver onto the bearing. Then I took a hammer and tapped the bearing with the screwdriver and stuff. And then so the wiring on the so the wires that was attached to the windings was so brittle that they actually fell off the windings and stuff. Then when I tried to attach the wires back onto the windings and stuff, like how it was and stuff, it did. So the next thing is, then when I ended up putting the motor back together, and when I turned that ceiling fan on, it made a humming noise, but it didn't even spin. The motor didn't even spin. It ain't even did nothing but made a humming noise, and that was it. And that really gave me the evidence that I'd messed up something on the windings and stuff. So therefore, the motor wasn't no more good. The motor wasn't any good at the time. And then, so the next thing is, then I also had a motor that went to a Hampton Bay Littleton ceiling fan that I parted out and all that stuff because the Hampton Bay Littleton fan was a piece of crap and stuff. So I took the winding and the road. I took the motor stator and the rotor out the Hampton Bay Littleton ceiling fan motor because that motor actually went to a Hampton Bay Littleton ceiling fan that's made by SMC, not the one that's dated October 97, but the one that was dated November 2009. And then, so the next thing is, then I stuck it inside the motor and stuff and got that ceiling fan working again. So because of that stuff, so it has the typical Hampton Bay Littleton ceiling fan harmonic sound that it makes. And then, so next thing is that before I go a little bit more further, so the features about this fan is that it has 4 white blades, reversible from stencil to plane, and it features a forward and a reverse switch and a 3-speed pull chain switch and a light kit and all that stuff. And it has this included light kit and stuff. Now, the parts that are not original to the fan are the metric screws for me to screw the blades onto the motor. Those are not original. And then as you can see, that it has some rust on the blade brackets or so. So I don't know if I should either spray paint the blade brackets gold or try to give it some polish or try to polish them up or something. But I don't even know. But until then, I'm going to try to figure out what I could do with that stuff. And then, so the next thing is now, then I'm about to go and tell you what else are not original. The screws for me to screw the motor housing onto the bracket are also not original. And the pull chain extenders with the ball pendants and stuff, those are not original to the ceiling fan. One of them came off of, well, one of the pull chain with the balls and stuff, one of them came off of a ceiling fan that I parted out. And then the other one is the one that I bought from my CEC Georgian ceiling fan over there originally and stuff until I bought the tassel pull chain for that fan off of eBay. So other than that, I'm about to go on and demonstrate this fan, starting off with this light. So I got this ceiling fan hooked onto this Hunter ceiling fan push button wall control. So here it is. So I'm about to go in and hold the light down, and that actually dim the light. Then after that, then I'm about to go in and turn the light off. So I'm about to go in and demonstrate this fan, starting off with low. So that'll be it right there. So here it is. Well, because I'm actually demonstrating the ceiling fan, I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking and stuff because that's what be making my videos long as ever. So I'm gonna try not to talk as much. But one thing I wanted to point out is that if I put this thing on low speed by the push button wall control, low speed is actually faster than how the ceiling fan would normally fast. The RPMs for low speed is actually faster than the RPMs on low speed, as if I would have put it on a pull, as if I would have put the fan on low speed by the pull chain. And then, so the next thing is, then also forgot to mention the stuff about this fan. So, the file number for this fan is actually not E136322. It actually has a different file number, but it's a SMC ceiling fan, but it has a different file number. So other than that, I'm about to go on and put this thing on low. I'm about to go on and put it on medium and stuff. So this is medium right here. So here it is. Okay, now this is medium. And then so the next thing is, then also wanted to mention that this ceiling fan is dated March of 1993. That's the date for this ceiling fan. And then so the next thing is, then also wanted to mention something about that two of the blades on the ceiling fan were split and stuff. So what I decided to do is that I decided to replace the split blades with two of the stencil blades that actually came off of the SMC Royal Flush ceiling fan model U42 that I filmed at a rental house that had a broken blade on there. As the landlord of the house gave me permission to actually replace that ceiling fan with a new ceiling fan, and he actually paid me to replace that ceiling fan because he was actually getting that house remodeled and stuff. So I was working with my friends. So I was actually working with a gentleman that's the father of my friend's child and stuff, as he work on houses and stuff. So the landlord was my friend's child's father's customer. So that's how I had the landlord permission to actually replace that ceiling fan, because he was actually getting the house remodeled and he needed some new ceiling fans to be installed. So other than that, and then so because that ceiling fan had a broken blade, so instead of me fixing up that ceiling fan, I parted that ceiling fan out instead. Then I'm about to go on and put this thing on high speed. It's on high speed now. And now, as far as the CFMs on how much CFMs it blows, I really don't know how much CFMs it blows, and I really don't know the RPMs for this ceiling fan. So other than that, I'm about to go on and actually show Actually show the other side of this fan right here. And then also forgot to mention that the globe on the ceiling fan is not original to the fan. And the globe actually came off of my Northman. The globe actually came off my other Northman Hugger ceiling fan that looked it directly like a Ancon Casanova Supreme ceiling fan from the late 80s. Yeah, that's where that globe actually came from. So this globe on this ceiling fan is not original. It actually came off of my my second Northman Hugger ceiling fan that I parted out when I was a kid. And my Northman Hugger ceiling fan looked it exactly like this ceiling fan right here. But the only difference is that the motor housing on that ceiling fan was narrow, and the shape of this globe is actually different from the globe on this ceiling fan over here. But they both had identical stencil blades and stuff. So other than that, my Northman Hugger ceiling fans has nothing to do with this ceiling fan. And then also forgot to mention that the ceiling fan is actually wobble free right here. As you can see that the ceiling fan is wobble free, but not 100% wobble free. Because as you can see, it actually starts to, that is actually kind of twitching and stuff. Like, you know, like when you get the twitching as you getting cold, that's what it's kind of doing. But it's really not noticeable for real. And you can barely even tell just by looking at the fan, and you can barely even tell unless you get a real closer look to it. But other than that, that ceiling fan is wobble free. That means it doesn't wobble at all. Oh, hold on. But other than that, I'm about to go and turn this video off and the fan off. So this is Ray Nizzle signing out this video, and I am out.